Why did Freddie Highmore almost turn down the role of Sean Murphy? How many real-life couples have appeared on the show? And did you notice all the Good Doctor connections to other medical dramas? Hi, I'm Dylan. Let me spill the beans. Root of the matter. Before The Good Doctor hit TV screens across the United States, it was actually a South Korean drama. Yes, the show, also titled Good Doctor, aired in South Korea in 2013, but only lasted 20 episodes. It actually did really well and was nominated for several awards before it was canceled. Daniel Dae Kim, who stars in the show as of the second season, saw the original series and went on to buy the rights for his production company. Together with David Shore, they developed the show into what it is today. Daniel said that the reason he really wanted to bring the show to American audiences was because of Sean's character. He says, Sean is someone who was born with the set of obstacles. The obstacles were not put in his own way by his own choices. And in so many dramas that we see today, we see people getting in their own way, but Sean is not one of those people. Getting the part. The Good Doctor wouldn't be The Good Doctor without its incredible cast. But the beginning wasn't all peaches and cream. Surprisingly, the first person to get cast on the show was Antonia Thomas. When she began her role as the emotionally intelligent Dr. Claire Brown, she was working on 2 shows at the same time. The other show she was working on was the British rom-com Lovesick. Busy lady. And according to Antonia, her audition call came very last minute. At the time, she was out having Friday night drinks with a friend when the producers called her to set up a Saturday morning audition. She left, went home with only a few hours to prepare for her new role.
I was expecting it to be just the casting director. It wasn't, it was everybody.
And yes, Antonia is actually British. So for her audition, she had to learn some medical jargon, which she had to prepare in American English. She said it was quite a lot of work, and I definitely walked in thinking, ugh, this isn't gonna go my way. But it all worked out. Clearly, she was that good with such little prep time. Someone else who has been fooling you with their American accent is none other than Dr. Sean Murphy himself. That's right, Freddie Highmore is actually British too. Freddie does such a great job of playing the autistic savant doctor, it might surprise you to find out that he almost turned down the role. Freddie had just wrapped filming on Bates Motel and was given mere hours to decide. When you've just finished a show that had been on for 5 seasons, you need to choose wisely because you could end up doing something that you might not want to for years and years, he said in an interview. We're thrilled that Freddie took the job, but preparing for the role was quite a feat, especially since he only had 3 days off between the end of Bates Motel and the pilot of The Good Doctor. How crazy! Playing a highly skilled physician with autism required a lot of research on his part, as well as working with autistic consultant Melissa Rayner. Freddie takes his role very seriously, and it was important to him that Sean wasn't just a character with autism, but a multi-dimensional character too. He said, often people with autism on screen have been represented as somewhat emotionless or singularly focused on one thing, and that isn't true. We get to see Sean in moments of joy, what makes him excited, alongside the very real struggle he's facing.
The day that the rain smelled like ice cream, my bunny went to heaven in front of my eyes.
The show is also known for hiring guest actors who are on the spectrum themselves. Exit stage left. As you know, The Good Doctor is not just a medical show, it's also a drama. And drama is always, well, dramatic. Someone whose storyline was always filled with intrigue was Dr. Neil Melendez. Fun fact, Nicholas Gonzales comes from a whole family of doctors, so he probably didn't have to spend too much time getting into character. Both his father and brother are surgeons. Wow! And his brother is even credited as being a medical consultant on the show. But sadly for Melendez fans, his fate had a tragic ending with him confessing his love for Claire just before passing away. But why did Nicholas Gonzales leave? Well, creator David Shore says, we wanted to lose a character that we would feel something about and feel pain about, and certainly, he's a character that so many of them have been in touch with. As of season 4, actress Jessica Nicole will also not be returning. This came as quite a shock to Jessica, who tweeted, "Unfortunately, I was not asked to return to the show next season." She seemed quite hurt by the sudden news, saying she felt the situation was very disappointing and that she feels she was used as a prop to push forward the narrative of other characters. She will definitely be missed, especially if you ship Sean and Carly's relationship. Even though it took them 2 whole seasons to get together, there was no denying what sweet chemistry they have.
I had such a good working relationship with Freddie, and we were always so present with each other in our scenes, and I think that both of us were really sad that our relationship had to come to an end because it was beautifully written.
And what about nurse Dina Petringa? Since returning, the showrunners have decided to acknowledge the global pandemic that the world is currently suffering through. David Shore felt the need to pay homage to the heroes on the front lines, the doctors. He said, "We owe them a debt that much more during this time because they are literally risking their lives, every single one of them." So a casualty of the coronavirus came in, killing off Nurse Petringa, played by Karen Konoval. On her exit, Karen tweeted in response to a fan who admitted they weren't ready for her departure. "I wasn't really either, LOL, but I'm onwards to fun other things." Romance on set. While Dr. Sean Murphy's romance with Dr. Carly Lever was strictly on screen, there was another romance that wasn't. Remember in season 1 when Debbie Wexler, the barista, and Dr. Aaron Glassman had a thing? Well, guess what? The actress who played Debbie is Sheila Kelly and is Richard Schiff's wife in real life and on the show.
My wife was just ecstatic and giddy over the idea of coming up and doing these scenes. And I have to say, I enjoyed every second of her being up there with me.
Shelley and Richard met in the 1990s at the beginning of their television careers. Richard was directing an off-Broadway play when he met Sheila at the auditions. The two have been married since 1996 and they have 2 children. Richard says he is still head over heels in love with her. Isn't that adorable? But these two aren't the only real-life couple on the show. Dr. Alex Park and his ex-wife Mia Wollner are also together when the cameras stopped rolling. Will Yun Lee married actress Jennifer Birmingham in 2010 and they have a son named Cash. They are joined by Nicholas Gonzales' wife Kelsey Crane, who also made a guest appearance on the show in season 2. She played a patient named Sadie Barnes who had a premonition of death which almost became a reality. Freaky. What's the connection? You may have noticed some similarities between The Good Doctor and another famous medical drama, House. Well, it's not too surprising since David Shore was the creator of House. One main similarity, both lead actors are British who play American doctors. The show also features 2 distinctly unique characters who have an incredible talent in the medical field. While Dr. House's gruff attitude led many people to dislike him, Sean has autism, something that makes people feel he is not ready for the job. Of the 2 main characters, David said, "There was speculation as we went along about Dr. House, and we certainly didn't shy away from that. The characters, though, ultimately couldn't be more different. Yet they're in a way asking many of the same questions. They're asking why we do the things we do." And in a semi-House reunion, actor Robert Sean Leonard, who played Dr. Gregory House's best friend, Dr. James Wilson, made an appearance in season 3 of The Good Doctor. He played Seamus O'Malley, a fisherman rushed to hospital after a freak accident. And another familiar face to show up at San Jose's St. Bonaventure Hospital is Samantha Sloyan. You'll recognize her from another favorite medical drama, Grey's Anatomy. She played the role of Penny Blake, the surgical resident who Meredith Grey blamed for the death of Derek Shepherd after his fatal car crash. She then became a regular when she took a new residency at Grey Sloan. Secret weapons. You may have been wondering how the cast of The Good Doctor stay on top of their game, medically speaking. Well, they have a secret weapon in their arsenal. Dr. Orrin Gottfried is the show's lead medical consultant. He's in charge of making sure that all the cases that come to San Jose's St. Bonaventure Hospital are not only dramatic, but also legitimate. Isn't that cool? He's able to pitch his own plot lines as well as advise the writers on the validity of their own stories. Some cases do seem so outlandish, but the fact is they're really medical truth, he says. However, it's rarely stories from my daily work. The show also employs real-life nurses to assist in the operating rooms. Fiona Gubelman, who plays the arrogant and highly competitive Morgan Resnick, said, "So when you see us filming the surgeries, we have actual nurses with us, handing us equipment and telling us if we're doing it correctly, incorrectly, and all that stuff." One nurse, Rebecca Brown, says, "The steps that we follow on the show are very accurate to what really happens, and everything from the ward scenes that you see to the OR scenes, it's very accurate to what would truly happen." Wild! But what about the injuries, ailments, and bodies that are operated on? Thankfully, they are not real, but the expert work of makeup artists and practical effect artists. Masters FX builds surgery bodies for each episode, which requires a lot of research and referencing of real body parts. Sounds gruesome. Want to know more about the Good Doctor cast? Check out our video about their real-life partners and get the scoop. Subscribe and stay awesome.